In this breaking story, an Epstein survivor just destroyed Donald Trump's entire morning with a horrible new reveal. That's right. Donald Trump thought by releasing these redacted Epstein files, he would somehow turn the heat down. Instead, things are only getting worse. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button if you want to see Donald Trump behind bars. And it makes sense, honestly. Donald Trump and his entire team are hard at work, not actually seeking justice, but rather seeking a cover-up.
Why is Donald Trump allowing this drip, 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 months now of bad press, bad stories, his refusal to release the files, his opposition to the bill, now his failure to fulfill and comply with the law and releasing the files? That's bad for him, bad for the Republican Party politically. Be much smarter just to get everything out there and put it in the rearview mirror and talk about your agenda moving forward. Why is he so desperate to hide the files that he doesn't just do what's clearly the smart thing politically?
As to the answer?
Well, look, I think if you look at the evidence that we have, the long relationship between Trump and Epstein, Epstein's emails saying Trump, quote, knew about the girls, underage girls being trafficked from Mar-a-Lago. We now have evidence of that. I find it hard to believe that Donald Trump and others around Jeffrey Epstein didn't know that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking underage girls. I just find it hard to believe that he didn't know that, but that's why we need the full file so we can learn.
And this still makes perfect sense because, again, Donald Trump and Epstein were best friends despite the gaslighting from the White House.
My guiding rule for all of the Trump presidency has been a phrase I've used over and over again, and that is many secrets, no mysteries. There's a lot you don't know about Epstein and Trump, and there's really nothing you don't know about Epstein Trump. They were best friends. The only photos you ever see of Donald Trump where he is authentically smiling in the presence of another human being is with Jeffrey Epstein. And Putin, he hero worship. With Putin, he's like the little kid, and Putin is he's the captain of the high school football team. He admires Putin. He hopes to grow up to be Putin. But they're not friends because they're not equals. But Epstein, that was a friend, and they had all the same interests: stealing, sexual assault. They may have in the end fallen out over a real estate deal, but they were so close so long, and they knew each other so well. And this whole idea that Donald Trump was the QAnon hero of rescuing victims of sex trafficking. I mean, how gullible did you ever have to believe to believe that? There were such people, there are fewer.
But now things just spiraled out of control as an Epstein survivor wrecked Trump's entire morning with a horrible new reveal. Take a look at this. Trump's morning just erupted, and this one is brutal. While the Department of Justice rushed to shield Donald Trump's name in the latest Epstein files release, they somehow forgot to do the most basic, legally required thing: protect the identity of an actual Epstein victim. An Epstein survivor who reported Jeffrey Epstein to the FBI back in 2009 has now gone public with a scathing letter to the Department of Justice after discovering that her full name was released unredacted in multiple public files. At the same time, and this is where it gets worse, the DOJ and FBI are still withholding her own FBI file from her, claiming it needs careful redaction review to protect privacy. So let's be clear about what just happened. The government says it needs months to review redactions before giving a survivor her own records, but had no problem releasing her identity to the public while dumping the Epstein files. Her letter calls the contradiction irrational, reckless, and incompatible with federal victim protection laws. She points out that the Epstein Files Transparency Act explicitly requires redaction of victim identifying information. That's not optional, it's the law. She says this disclosure doesn't intimidate her. It exposes a system more focused on protecting powerful names than protecting victims. In her words, this isn't transparency, it's institutional failure layered on historic injustice, and now the DOJ is facing demands for immediate corrections, preservation of records, and potential inspector general and congressional investigations. Trump's name may have been handled with care, but an actual survivor was left completely exposed. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.